think it's so important that you start to move the right way, move optimally. And then if you're moving well on the outside, what are you doing on the inside? Because that is so important. Like I always say to my pro athletes, you guys, would you put water in your Ferrari? Why are you drinking alcohol? Would you go eat at In-N-Out Burger? Is that optimal
Oh my
performance
God.
fuel? Is that optimum? Yeah, once in a while. I'm about moderation. I'm not about,
Mhm.
hey, do it all perfect at all. I'm 55. I'm happy. I'm living a life. I have kids. I have, it's lifestyle. But if you're
Yep.
doing things 80% right, this is what I was talking about. Don't beat yourself up all the time.
Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, epigenetic human performance coach. This is where we discuss all things lifestyle, environment, food, exercise, work, mind, and social interaction as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone. So if you're ready to start viewing you as an individual, take control of your life and health, and get results, buckle up, here we go.
Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, and this is a place where we talk about everything lifestyle and environment and how it relates to our genetic expression. Today is going to be a fun one. If you think you are doing everything right when it comes to movement, think again. I've made this mistake in the past, but we are going to be talking today about the role of movement and biomechanics in influencing our genetic expression and long-term health. My guest today is Mr. Bobby Aldridge. He is a sports kinesiologist, two-sport Division I athlete, three-time author, founder of BAMmetrics, that's BAM, a revolutionary system for pain management, injury prevention, and performance optimization. I love those words, through measurable mobility. He's got over 30 years experience. He's worked with elite athletes, including PGA golfers, professional baseball players, boxers, and he traveled with Andre Agassi back when he had all the hair, right?
Yeah.
During his reign as the world's #1 tennis player in the world. He's renowned for his human-centered approach, and Bobby empowers athletes, quote, athletes, to move with ease, grace, and power, therefore reducing injuries and enhancing performance. His mission is to inspire lasting transformation through metrics-based movement, which he'll explain to us, ensuring longevity and resilience in every client because he says, we are all athletes. And I love that. It's just treating the athlete as they are, not as who like the one size fits all approach. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Bobby. Great to have you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Excited to talk.
Good. That's good. That's quite a resume. So I've gone through. We already started. We of course chit chat before I hit the record button, and the stories are flowing. So I just want you to introduce yourself to everybody through your story because it's freaking fascinating. And then we'll get into talking about more about what you do because again, I resonate so much with it. When I saw that you're all about personalized movement, I'm all about personalized health. And we don't all run the same way. And you have a great analogy you use. And so let's tell your story of how you came into where you are with BAMmetrics.
Oh my God, it starts so far back where I remember when I first started, when I was first training, I had one certification that the Sacramento Kings trainer told me to get, CSCS. And I'm like, what is that? I found out you need a 4-year degree. So I went to get that. And when I had that, I was like the smartest guy in the room. That's what I'm doing. It's one thing. I know that. And I'm good at this. And after 30 years of doing this, there's so much knowledge and so many smart people and so much stuff. I'm like afraid to open my mouth now because there's so much information out there. So over all these years, I've tested and tried and done all these different movements from yoga to Pilates to Feldenkrais to Kelly Starrett, Eric Cressy, Great Cook. All these guys have taught me so much. And it's great for us as trainers, but it's difficult for the average person and the athlete to know what do I actually need to do to move well, perform at my highest level, and feel my best. And what are those things? And there's so much information out there. So it's like I always say, You don't know what you don't know until you do. Then you can make a choice on what you want to do with that. And I laugh at like yoga. The first time I remember going to yoga, it was like, oh my God, there's some hot girls in yoga. Let's go to yoga class. We weren't doing yoga to do yoga. We didn't understand the movements. We lift heavy weights. We're buff. And over all those years of all the injuries with shoulders, broke both ankles. Last year I had 2 hip replacements, umbilical hernia surgery just recently. But all these injuries, why are they happening? Why am I bone on bone? We didn't do soft tissue work. We didn't even know about fascia 30 years ago. That's a new thing.
Mhm.
So all these things that we're talking about, how can we make it better for our clients? And that's how I came up with the tools that I came up with to help people with metrics. Because if I tell you to put your feet 2 boxes apart, what's 2 boxes? That was a funny thing too with my lady clients when I'd say, hey, put your feet hip width. Some of them would put them like this wide. I'm like, your hips aren't that
In their
wide,
head,
right here. And it's
in their
like,
mind,
so
they are.
but it's a joke of what they would
Yes.
do. And so I came up with these tools that would help place them at 2 boxes. And then next week, let's go to 3 boxes. So it just simplifies the movement for the clients as they would do this stuff. And with all the years we talk about this is how people move. Are you a tractor? Are you the big, strong guy? Are you a Ferrari that's really fast and tiny and explosive? Or are you a Toyota that can go forever? But if I load your truck and put demand on you, you're going to break down. So it's like you have these different types of people. You can't train them all the same. Now, I always say you can teach you basic movement, though. And that's what I have with the program that I have that's an online mobility program, is it helps with these are the 12, I call them the like dirty dozen that you need to do to feel better. And if you do these, your back, your hips, things will start to feel better. I had a lady, her husband was the San Francisco Giants doctor. She had pain for 6 years, access to all of the physical therapists, all the chiropractors, all the
Mhm.
movement specialists. And she saw me on a Wednesday. On the third Wednesday, she goes, God, I feel pretty good. I'm going to go try to play golf tomorrow. And she's all excited about playing golf. She goes out and shoots her lowest round. She goes, God, I felt pretty good, pain free. So she goes, I'm going to try it again the next day and beats her score again. So her husband calls me and goes, what the heck are you doing with her over there? What's happening? And it's not rocket science. It's simple movements that the body needs in all planes of motion, but it's measurable. It's like, where are you? Not me, not what I see as an expert. I can see that your knee is valgus. I can see that your shoulder's an issue, but do you see it with what you do? And that's why I use like the wall as put your back up against the wall. Can you even do
Uh-huh.
that? So it helps with how people move. They can see where they are. But it's been years and years and years, and I'm constantly changing what I'm doing and critiquing it. Literally 2 days ago, I'm talking with a physical therapist that I call it core, and I call it correct alignment, optimize mobility, restore balance throughout the body, then going to enhance your performance, right? Everybody's trying to lose weight, get
Yep.
faster, play golf, all these things. They're all enhancing performance. But if you don't do those first 3, then you
Base.
probably have an issue. That's where the car is going to break down. Are those 4 wheels in alignment, or is your back wheel rotated out? Is it lopsided? Is it not rotating properly? What's going on there? So when you take off fast, that's going to be an issue. And that's where the performance, they get injured. But what I was saying is correct alignment is what I say all the time. And this physical therapist goes, Bob, you need to change that. It needs to be correct postural alignment. And I go, why do you say postural alignment? He goes, because you're not aligning the spine, you're aligning the joints. So you're working on the shoulders, the hips, the knees,
Uh-huh.
and the ankles. And I go, oh, you're right. I am working on that. He's all, that's why your words are important. So he's all correct postural alignment. See what I mean? 2 days ago,
Yep.
I'm making an adjustment on something that I thought I was locked in. This is really good. And again, smarter guy, better explanation. Need to change it. You're right on, Bill.
No, I don't think
So,
it's so much that he's smarter. He just is coming from a different arena, right?
hmm
He's a
hmm
PT. You're not. So he
right.
sees things just a little differently.
It's
So
true.
don't knock yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like imposter syndrome a lot of times. Like, no, I
So
shouldn't
we
be on
all.
there. I shouldn't be talking about it. This guy's way better. Get Kelly Starrett, Eric Cressy, Greg Cook. Those guys are way smarter than me. Chat with those guys. I follow those guys. So anyway.
We all have our strengths, and it's amazing how much we all, and I guarantee you at those times, there's going to be times when those guys even feel imposter syndrome. I did my podcast. I hate doing the ones by myself. I don't like just sitting, like you and I talked earlier. Ask me questions, then I can go. That's how
Yeah.
I am. I'm very conversational, and me just like staring into the camera, giving information, it is like sticking forks in my eyes. It's just, it's uncomfortable. And I'm doing this one on DNA, and I've been doing DNA since 2019. It's like April of 2019. What, 6 years?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. And I sat here going, am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to say, these are the things that go through our head.
I know. It's amazing.
And this is just, it's normal. But the truth of the matter is, you're not an imposter, and you are helping people. And you're an expert in what you do. Everybody else is experts in what they do. You're an expert in what you do. And the personalized part of it, when you're talking about the Ferrari, the car, like the different cars,
Mm-hmm.
with what I do, we have 6 health types that have different names. So you're like the Ferrari, the little people, okay, right? The
Yeah.
sprinters and all, they're the activators. And then you're talking about the big people, like your strongman people. They're
Right.
slower, but they're strong as hell.
Tractor.
And yeah, they are a freaking tractor. And they're the guardians. And then I'm not sure whether you're talking about the crusaders or the diplomats when they can go, because they can go a while. More the crusaders or your endurance athletes, because their brain is so active. They'll do the endurance because it's the only way to shut their shit down.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
because it just goes. But they're not your strong people. They're your endurance. They're lean, but they have some muscle. But so it's really interesting hearing you talk, because as we said before we came on here, we see things very similarly.
Yeah.
Similarly? Did I say that right word? So, God, it's Monday. We see them very, very similar. And so, yeah, it's going to resonate with the people that listen to my podcast, hear what you do. So you were telling me, because I want you to tell people about this, about the Body for Life. This is a great story. I want you to tell this story, because there's oldsters like us out there that remember this from 30 years ago. And if you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit, and then I want to get into the influencing gene expression with movement. But you tell the story first. This is so cool.
Yeah. So they had at the gym I was always in shape, and everybody would say to me, "You just don't know what it's like to be fat." And I'm like, "No, I was fat in college. I broke my back in a car accident, and I gained 60 pounds, and I was fat." And they all like didn't really understand that I was. And so the Body for Life, Bill Phillips book came out, and they were doing that contest. And I'm like, my brother goes, "Bob, you should gain that weight back, get in the contest, and then lose it and win it." So I go, okay. So I start drinking 5 quarts of half and half a day for 7 weeks, putting on the weight. And I'm eating butter and drinking beer and doing all these things. And I gain the 60 pounds, and I do the contest. And Bill Phillips kicks me out of the contest and says it's not possible to do what I did with my body. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just did it." And he said, it's not possible, because I lost it. The picture is like this. So it was literally like,
So crazy.
and it was funny that he kicks me out. So I called the biggest supplement company at the time, and I said, "Hey, I used your products. I got a great result." And they used me the next day in their videos in LA. They flew me to LA and shot me up. And then I was their spokesperson for 5 years. And while I was doing that, Bill Phillips sued ProSource, saying my pictures were false and the whole thing. So I had to get 50 affidavits of people around the area that saw me do this, gain the weight, the whole thing. And they won the lawsuit against Bill Phillips. And the reason I did it was to try to show people, like, you can do whatever you want with your body if you just know what you're doing. And I happened to have a lady at the gym who was a professional bodybuilder who was literally teaching me how to pee into a cup and then drink that much water to close out my get ripped contest. It was stuff that I had no idea what they did with bodybuilding. but I was shredded, and it was insane that when the day I took my pictures, that this is a crazy thing. For basically 7 or 8 weeks, I had no sugar, no sodium, nothing. On that day, I'm shooting the pictures. The guy goes, "Bobby, bring honey." And I'm like, "Okay." So I bring honey. He goes, "All right, it's time. Drink the honey." I'm like, "What do you mean drink it?" So I start drinking some honey. My veins start running on my body. He's all, "Do some push-ups right now." I start doing push-ups. My chest starts to explode. I'm all, "Oh my God." I felt like Spider-Man. I'm like, "Oh my God, look at my body. This is ridiculous." And so it was just crazy things like that that went on,
Yeah.
and people had to see it to believe it. And if they didn't believe they could do it. And so a lot of these things, though, that you see out there, a lot of these ones are women that are pregnant and they say, "I'm fat," and they lose the weight and they look ripped again. There were so many of those I
Uh,
found out later that it was pregnant women. They gained 30,
wow.
50, 70 pounds, but then they go back to their regular weight because they were pregnant. So they were pushing that back in the day. And remember, this is back in like 2001, I think it was, something like that, or when they were doing this 25 years ago. But anyway, it was once people saw it, it really made a difference because the gym changed. And the crazy part of this story was more of how people treat you. It's like the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. When she was in Shallow Hal and went across the street in her fat suit, how people were like disgusted looking at her, not open the door for her. When she's a movie star, so people would be like, "Oh my God, it's Gwyneth Paltrow," but not when she's in her fat suit. I felt the same thing at the gym. Girls that normally would never talk to me in the gym start approaching me and chatting with me. And I was like, "Whoa, she never talks to me. What the heck?" It was how they perceived me now. I looked different. So it was like pretty interesting how people treat you when you think it's you, and it's not you, it's how they perceive you.
It's how
So
they perceive.
it
Absolutely.
really taught me to break down that thought to anyone because now I knew they saw me that way and they literally put me in that category. "Oh, you're that guy." And it was like, I'm not that guy. I look like that guy, but I'm not that guy. So that was like a
Yeah.
big change to people. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
a funny part of the story.
I
Um,
love that story. Down to the where how people treat you differently.
yes.
When you look, that's the reality of society. So everybody wants to, or the majority of people, they want to look good. And as we spoke earlier, I was saying to you, you see these ads out there and you have a guy that's totally ripped or a woman that's totally ripped that clearly is very small bone structure, long and lean, and saying, you can look like this in 8 weeks by following my diet or my program. And you have people that are the tractors, the guardians, and the diplomats going, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And they're busting their ass. They're not going to look like that. You just want to look the best and feel the best and move the best for your body type. That's
And I always say this, if you go and do most things properly, you will look that much better. And it's like
absolutely.
you just keep adjusting things. This is the other side of it. Nowadays, it's did you get your steam in? Did you get your sauna in? Did you get red light therapy in? Did you do your workout today? Did you do your soft tissue work? Did you Olympic lift? Did you do your power? Did you run your
To cold
stairs?
plunge.
Did you cold plunge? Dude, people are stressing themselves going, "I'm not getting everything in." So it's like you got to take back and go a little bit at a time is okay. It's a lifestyle. You guys aren't pro athletes. Yes, my pro athletes need to do all of that. But you have life. You have kids.
Yep.
You have a job.
That
You
is
have-
their life.
yes, that is their life. So they can do that. But for you guys out there listening and doing this, you have to fit these things in slowly that it doesn't stress
Yep.
you out that you're not doing it. You just get in a little bit at a time and you're always upping the ante to make it a little bit better. And it's got to be lifestyle. So if you're trying to lose weight and you call it a diet, if you tell me you're on a diet, I know you're going to fail.
Yep.
Diets don't work. Lifestyle.
Or how about,
works.
well, I
Lifestyle.
eat clean. I eat
Yeah.
clean. I say, I love that one. I can't wait to get my hands on you then if you think you're eating clean, because I guarantee you're not eating clean for you if you're not seeing results.
Yeah. That's
Clean eating is different for everybody. So,
I agree.
yeah.
That's great stuff to know too. I love your stuff of what you talk about that really, really helps people to understand their blood and what's going on inside more than the outside.
Yeah. You just how you're created. What are your propensities? You drive that. Genetics don't dictate what we are. It does as far as expressing like hair color and eye color, things like that, but that's the percentage we can't control. But the 95% that's lifestyle and environment driven, we have control over that. So when you understand what your specific body needs, no different than what you're talking about, what do you need to reach your ultimate performance? And I'm an epigenetic human performance coach. And I've had people say, I'm not looking to bodybuild or I don't need performance. And I go, no, but it's about your body performing on a daily basis. It's not, you have to be this high performing athlete or executive. It's how does your body perform? Because as you said, you want to fuel it, you want to run it with the right things so that it can be optimal because it's quality of life.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time on here. If you don't have that quality of life to do the things that bring you joy, and there's just no point. And too many people are walking around without joy in their life right now. It's just
Yeah, and
it's like they're going through the motions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people though I see all the time. 8 out of 10 people have back pain. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
8 out of 10.
Hello.
Then you go through, but it's so simple usually to help. Maybe not fix unless you had a car accident or something like knocked you really out, or you had
Yeah.
a structural issue that really changed. You can really help that like right away. You can make an adjustment to that. You can help that. And that's why I came up with the 12 movements that I have. Everyone start with the basics. Your body moves in these planes of motion: frontal, sagittal, transverse, all the different ways you move. And are you on your back? Are you standing? You sitting? You kneeling? Can you sit on the ground with your legs crossed? A lot of men can't even do that. Women can. They'll sit on the ground, no problem. But that's because they're
Like the
hips.
Indian style?
Indian style. Yeah. Just that base. Do your people see me on camera or do they
Yep.
just listen?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So literally just sitting on the ground like this and working on it. I do this a lot of times. I'll use my blocks right here. I'll put them here and I'll sit with my computer and I'll just work on my computer like this. And I change my feet from this way to this way. And
Just to stretch out the hips.
just sit here. You guys, everybody says sitting is the new smoking. But
Yeah.
standing doesn't fix that. When they say stand, if you're already compromised, if you're already compensating, when you stand, you're going to compensate some way standing. So then you're
Yep.
going to stand and you're going to tell me, God, my left knee hurts or my back hurts on my right side.
Or the back starts again.
So all these things
100%.
are compensations. And I always go back
Yeah.
to the car because we all understand how a car works. So if your tires are out of line, one tire is turned a little bit this way, or it doesn't have enough air in it, or it's not rotating properly, you're going to have an issue as you pick up speed, right? You might handle it as you go slow, right? You're that old man that's slow. This guy goes, yeah, I'm fine, but he can't do anything, right? He's not going fast, but as soon as he goes fast, what's he going to do? He's going to be like, oh, my back, I can't do that. That's the performance level of what we're talking about with most people. How do they perform? And you're all athletes because do you drive your car? Do you go grocery shopping? Do you go hang out with your kids? Do you do these things? That makes you an athlete because if you can't do it with your kids, is that fun? Or grandkids, is that fun? You can't move. It's
Quality of life.
quality of life. So I always go back to quality of life. And it's not difficult to do a few things. In my program that I teach you one exercise a week with a soft tissue. And then I have a couple of exercises you'll do at night or one in the morning. But it is simple and it's measurable. For example, literally, can you put your feet here and here? I'm at 30 inches. So when you do this exercise, you know where you are in space. So I'm doing it at 30 inches and then I do 3 sets of 3 and then I move to 33 inches and I do it. You see how it's for you? It's your number. It's your metric. That's why I say it's your program. So if you're a pro athlete and you go out here and you can put your hands high and you can do it this way, great. But you're a pro athlete that should know I'm at 57. That's my number, right? So where are you in the movement spectrum? What can you do and what can't you do? Does that make sense? It's
And it's
so important for people to know where they are, not guess, not just. I do yoga, I do Pilates, I do Feldenkrais. Those are all good, but it's spaghetti on the wall. It's not specific. It's not exact to where we are. So when I have you do these exercises, this is your program specifically. So you can keep going to yoga, Pilates, all the classes, Zumba, CrossFit, all that. But you will notice because you now metrically measure what you're doing that, oh my God, I'm getting better because you have something to compare it to.
instead
One
of
of the-
just comparing, to other people who
yes.
are not in the same space as you.
Yeah. And I want it for you. That's why I did this. If I could go back, I would have never started this company. It was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Making tools, patenting things, doing all this stuff was so much work you wouldn't even comprehend it. But I've changed a lot of lives because I can literally train you one time and teach you a bunch of things, and you'll do it exactly as I taught you the first time because of the stuff I have, where you can't do that normally as a trainer. You usually have to go, no, move your foot in. No, go wider. No, stand against the wall. Put your feet 3 boxes apart. Like I said, you know how many people I say 3 boxes apart? Some would be like this doing their exercise, and then some would be like this. So this, and this are all different. So where are you when you do this?
Yeah.
It matters. And when you have pain, it really matters.
It really matters.
A slight adjustment, and all of a sudden, your pain goes away. I had this problem with my back pain. I had sciatic going down my back because I broke my back. And I had all these issues with everything going on. And for 2 years, I dealt with severe pain. 2 years. I was so frustrated that I got to play in the Sharks golf tournament. It was a scramble tournament. My brother got us into it. I couldn't lean over to putt. I was so freaking frustrated. I almost gave up. But I kept tinkering around and asking for help with different physical therapists, everyone. And all of a sudden, I found something that released my back. And I was like, oh, that feels better. Why did it feel better? Oh, because I had something that was measurable, that I could tell that the wall, my butt was 10 inches off the wall, but now my butt was 6 inches off the wall. Then it was 4 inches off the wall. Then it was touching the wall. Everyone should be able to touch the wall with their butt, with their feet straight up the wall, with their toes pointed down towards them, not up or open, straight down. That is regular postural movement. You take 9.9 out of 10, they can't do it.
Wow.
Pro athletes can't do it. Why? Because my pro athletes are my best compensators. Your best athletes in the world compensate the most. Who is the greatest basketball player of all time that walked like this? Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
What was Michael doing? He was walking with his feet internally rotating, playing a game.
Yep.
That needs to be here, feet straight, being able to change directions like this. Why do you think his knee always hurt? Because he was playing like this. That's normal.
Like that. Wow.
Those are compensations. So just because they're a great athlete doesn't mean they can do this. I have NBA guys that can't crawl on the ground this way.
Seriously.
No, they'll do it like this. They'll go same side, same side, same side. You go, what the heck? How's that even possible?
That's what I was thinking.
They never learn this. So when I teach you how to bear crawl, which you go, take your average American bear crawl, put your knees 2 inches off the ground, do this.
Yeah.
Over, and then go back. Average people can't do this. And if they're older, they'll tell me, oh, my wrist hurt. Oh,
the wrist.
I can't hold my body weight. Their toes don't flex. See my toes?
Yep.
Their toes don't flex. I had a kid who's a
How did the toes not flex? How does the toe not flex? How would you stand? How would you even get in that position with a straight toe?
They don't bend. Most people's toes, all 5, don't touch the ground. If they do this, 3 of them will be on the ground and 2 will be off the ground. I had a running back from a college the other
Wow.
day. He's a college running back. His 2 toes on the back don't touch the ground. I said, dude, how are you making cuts? His toes
Yeah.
don't touch the ground. These 3 do. These 2 couldn't off the ground. So something as basic as that, that's why I say I get my people to sit on the ground like this, sit on their feet. Most people can't. Most people can't even get their toes on the ground. So this alone would help most people. So when I say keep it simple, I'll use a chair for other people. I'll use a chair and put their feet like this so they can pull their foot down and massage it. So when you're at work, massage your toes like this.
Wow.
So you help your ankle, knee, and hip. And as you get better, then you can go down to the ground and work it here. And then eventually you will go here and then starting back. Again, this is levels of like just doing this for the first time. They'll feel their toes pushing off. So again, it's super simple, but very, very important. Because if you can't walk pushing off your toes, that's what they're missing is that right there. So they take a shorter stride and they walk like this.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that. Absolutely.
That's why people do this. They don't have the push off and they don't have the balance to hit this leg, balance, and then swing it through. So they're missing that part of walking.
Wow.
Those are all simple things that people struggle with that are kinetic chain. Are you looking at your car? Do you have the right amount of air in the tires? Is the whole kinetic chain working? If you broke your ankle, which I broke both, I have all kinds of compensations I've been dealing with for years that I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah, I do. Me with the right hip and the right glute is now the issue with the left low back.
And you don't even have to get into so much detail. This is the thing I tell people all the time. People will talk about a muscle group, right? Like one section. It's all connected.
It's all connected. It's complex system, no different than I talk about. The body is a complex system. If you look at just one thing, if you look at just one lab on blood work or a couple of them, if you just look at 2 genes, if you're just looking at 2 of your muscle groups, you're missing the whole picture.
Yeah.
Because just those couple of things don't tell the story.
So it's necessary for people to see, can you stand up against the wall with all your head, shoulders, hips, back, calves, and then can you glide the wall back and forth side to side? Does it feel even? For most men, they can't get their hands on the wall. Their hands will be rotated forward. Their fingers are off the wall. They can't extend their arms straight. They can't keep their arms up. I have a funny story. I had a kid that's 6'2", Adonis. He's 220. He looks amazing, comes in. I start him out with the wall windmill. And I said, go ahead, do a set of 20. So he starts doing it. Then I go to 3 boxes. So he widens his feet 3 boxes. He starts doing it. And I said, keep your arms up. Don't bring them down. He's like this. His arms start coming in. And he's fighting it. And this kid squats 500 pounds. He's strong as a horse. And he's all, comes off the wall. He's like, why the hell is that so hard? I don't get it. And I said, because you're built this way, you're rounded forward, you're here. So your body wants to be here. And I'm making you be here because of the wall. There's your coach. You see how I'm coaching you? The wall is your coach. And then when I say now sit on the ground and put your feet up the wall, again, the ground is your coach. So you guys start to get better because you see where you are. And so each day, each week, you can improve it yourself. You don't need me standing there telling you, put your feet a little bit closer, put your feet a little bit wider. You guys are smart people. You can handle 1 more inch or you can't. So that way your program now is for you. That's what I mean by it's specific to you, is because you adjust your movements as you go. And so keep doing what you love to do. If it's Zumba, if it's Pilates, if it's yoga, it doesn't matter what you're doing. CrossFit, all these different things people do. But you have to have some sort of measurable way to see, are you improving your mobility? Are you correcting your postural alignment? If you are and you're optimizing your mobility for you and you're restoring balance throughout that car, make sure all the tires are aligned and they're all working properly and they all have the right amount of air in them, then you're not going to have a problem improving your performance. Your performance will get better because now we
Yeah.
can enhance performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking you can be hitting PRs all day long, but if your postural alignment, the things you're talking about, if that's off, you could be doing more harm than good hitting those PRs.
And
But
not,
if you
I'll,
but if
go
you're
finish.
if you get the basics, like you're talking about, the wall, like all these things you can measure, and your performance improves in a healthier way, isn't it?
Yes, this is what I was going to say.
You're not fighting yourself.
I didn't know this till 5 years ago. I'm 55 now. So 5 years ago, my son's 12. We're at baseball practice and we finished and he goes, Papa, can we do a bench press contest with the bar? And I said, sure, go ahead. So the 12-year-olds use the bar, just the bar. They do 18. Then the high school kids jumped in. They did it. They did 38. College kids jumped in and they did 78. And they said, Bob, what can you do? And I'm like, oh God, I haven't done that in, geez, 20 years. So when I was 25, I remember benching 315 and I did 104. So I was like, okay, I can do anything one time. 78, I can try to get 79, but I don't think I can do it because I'm not as strong anymore. I only bench like 250. I don't even bench press. I do all other stuff, mobility and things like that, and medicine balls. Yeah. So I'm thinking, bench, fuck, I don't bench that much anymore. So I get on there and I'm like fired up for 79. That's in my head. Here we go. Get going. 75, 100, 150, 200. How did I just double what I did when I was 25 and now I'm 50? I was like, what? Because my shoulders are in a better position. I used to be the buff guy at 25 with rounded shoulders with those good looking. I was good looking shoulders and buff and abs, but I was here. Now I'm in alignment. It was effortless. I didn't even feel my shoulders this time. Last time I remembered I couldn't extend my arms at the end at the 104 because it was so tight right there. This time it was my triceps that gave up. They just got physically tired at the end. It was like all I felt were my triceps. So what I tell you is when you talk PRs, those PRs will get better in every category when you are correcting your postural alignment, restoring balance, and optimizing mobility. That's why I call it core. That's what it is. And if you do that, you will enhance your PRs, you will get better, and you'll do it injury-free. That's what happens.
And the other thing I think is important to bring up here too, we're no spring chickens. I'm 59. You're 55. So
You look great.
as do you. And I think, again, it's a lifestyle. I look at my DNA. My DNA kind of sucks. Like I have had to deal with a lot throughout, just like you have. And when you said like even some of your labs are still elevated from all the butter and the cream that you did, that's likely a genetic thing because you probably didn't process. But this is the way I think. But I think this is a really important thing to bring that up, that, we're still all about, you can get PRs, you can do things that better than you did 25 years ago. So it's not an age thing. This is the one thing that drives me crazy is people saying, I'm getting old, I can't do that. Or it's, I'm getting old or I'm slowing down. I'm like, then that's choice. And it's likely a choice that you're making in lifestyle that's causing you to slow down.
100%. 100%. I say to this day, I'm 55 right now. Every year I hit the golf ball further. And I don't know when I'm going to stop hitting it further where I literally can't get more. I'm curious, like where is that going to be? Because I'll hit it out there with the pros and I'm a 55-year-old man. So when you talk to these kids, it's that they need more strength. Again, it's the Ferrari, but they don't have the mobility. Okay, mobility isn't flexibility. That's where everybody goes to. It's like, it's flexibility.
Totally
No,
different.
flexibility plus movement, right? Stability. So flexibility plus stability is mobility. So as I strengthen you through the joint, it makes you stronger and more functional and better. So if I can optimize that mobility, you're going to optimize your performance. It's going to get better. Unless it's a technique thing. Sometimes it's technique. You got to work on
Sometimes
that.
technique. Yeah.
That's the other side of it. But for these younger kids, they all should be hitting at 350. It's like that's where it's going. Because one of my big things I teach is compound torsion movements. Compound torsion movements. Probably never even heard of that. But torsion.
I have, but explain it.
It's a ringing of a towel. Tiger Woods talked about it. You wring the towel out. Okay. So I cannot treat you like a Ferrari if you're a Toyota. I can't teach you how to torque your body like this because you can't handle that. One of my tour players right now is 6'9", is tallest player on tour. He has the biggest range of motion X factor ever at the PGA. They measured him down at CPI. His range of motion is so good, he can turn both ways, so optimal. And he's learning how to add strength to that because it's difficult.
That'd be making a monster.
He already hits it insane. He already hits it 350, 370, but amazing kid. But he's learning how to get more torsion, because it's like wringing a towel. I have a exercise called a hurricane. I cannot teach average people how to do the hurricane. It would wreck their back, their joints, and I have to start them slow, teaching them how to handle that because they're driving Toyotas and everybody wants to hit the ball further. So they're all trying to swing faster, but they don't understand that their back tire is bent. They're not, the tire doesn't turn, doesn't have the right air in it, but they're trying to swing faster. And they're like, why can't I? Or if they do, they hurt their back. So it's a constant same sort of thing that we deal with the compensation. So if I can reduce your compensations, improve your movement, your back pain goes away, it increases your performance, you feel great, your energy level goes up, and your quality of life is better.
So how do you see this as far as, like we talked about it early when I said this is what we were going to talk about, movement and biomechanics and influencing gene expression and long-term health?
Well, I think it's so important that you start to move the right way, move optimally. And then if you're moving well on the outside, what are you doing on the inside? Because that is so important. Like I always say to my pro athletes, you guys, would you put water in your Ferrari? Why are you drinking alcohol? Would you go eat at In-N-Out Burger? Is that optimal performance fuel? Is that optimal? Yeah, once in a while. I'm about moderation. I'm not about, hey, do it all perfect at all. I'm 55. I'm happy. I'm living a life. I have kids. It's lifestyle. But if you're doing things 80% right, this is what I was talking about. Don't beat yourself up all the time. If you're doing it about 80% right, you're doing really well. Okay? Because you're moving in the right direction. It doesn't have to be 100%. You're all in and this is how it is. I eat clean. I only eat clean. That's all I do. I find those people are more stressed than anyone because they're trying to do it perfectly every day.
They are.
And when you're trying to be perfect, you are going to struggle. You are going to fail because life isn't perfect. Things come at you. All of a sudden, you break your leg for whatever happened. Okay? That's going to make it difficult to want to eat perfect at that time. You're going to want other foods. You're going to want to do other things. You're not optimizing your mobility. You're going to have to sit around for a while. It's variables get thrown at you. So lifestyle, 80%. If you simplify, it gets better. It gets easier. You'll feel great. And that's really what you guys are trying to do. I say being happy is the most important thing. Happy.
It is, because every one of these decisions or choices that you're making with your lifestyle are affecting how your genes express. All of it. And that affects longevity. It really is that simple. And you also talk about awareness. And that's a big one with me is you said, we don't know what we know. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. That is one of the things that I say all the time. Some people are afraid to know what they don't know. Like, I don't want to find anything bad out. Okay. if you know about it, then you can work with it. If you don't know, then you have no idea. And you're just driving that car that has the issue. And one day it's going to break down. Don't you want to do the diagnostic on it? Do you take your car in to get it checked before you do a long road trip and make sure it's roadworthy? why are we any different with our bodies?
100%
People
agree.
take better care of their cars and their homes than they do. They change the filters in their radiator, not the radiator. What's they have to change my air filter here.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we do, we do all this with our cars. We rotate the tires. And like you said, I have friends. I used to be with a group of friends when I lived in Montana, and they were all ultra athletes and all older. And it was like late 40s and 50s at the time. And they would go run these long races, and then they'd go and just guzzle the beer. And the funny thing was, you're going, you just did like a 35 or 50-mile race. So you've got to be a little dehydrated there to begin with. But every one of them had a belly, had this little belly. And I thought, how does that happen? That you go all this time out there, and is it the nutrition? Because then they're eating crap afterwards. Why would you want to refuel with that after you just ran the shit out of that car and then you want to fill it up with more crap? It was just mind-blowing to me. I mean, everybody makes their choices. This isn't a judgment, but I'm thinking you have a body that really runs like a fine-tuned machine, but why are you putting the water in it instead of the gasoline?
Yeah, and it's
After,
okay. You do it once in a while. Yeah, you like a nice bottle of wine, or you're doing stuff, and
Yeah.
as long as you know that you hydrate after it to make sure you're hydrating, you can optimize both in that way. But when I get to a high level athlete, you're really trying to optimize. You really don't want to do that because it's breaking you
Yeah.
down every time. Rest is key. The reason people do steroids
Oh,
isn't to get
preach it.
stronger. Steroids help you recover. Okay. It doesn't make you stronger. In time, I can be just as strong as the guy that's doing steroids if I do it right. My brother was a beast back in the day, and everybody accused him of doing steroids because he was doing it the right way. He was 6'4", 255 pounds with almost a 40-inch vertical and running a 4.5 40 at 255. Okay. That was unheard of 30 years ago. And he was the national long driver. He was hitting balls 440 back then. Okay. That's why we've always said they'll hit the ball 500 someday, because he wasn't even a golfer, but he used to train like an animal. He did Olympic lifting. He did all that stuff. We did all that training 30 years ago. When CrossFit came out, people were going, Bob, they're doing your workout. And I'm like, oh, because we were Olympic lifting, bodybuilding, powerlifting, running stairs, box jumping, leapers.
Yeah.
We did absolutely everything back in the day. That's why we wrecked our bodies, because we didn't know soft tissue, fascia, foam rolling. We thought eat more, drink milk, all the stuff to power. Oh yeah, we had muscle, we're powerhouses, but we're like, why do I feel like that? Why do I ache? Because of inflammation. We had none of this, right? We dabbed in it. We went in the sauna. We did the different things. We did a cold bath. We jumped in ice because our joints hurt, but we didn't know why we were doing it. So now you actually know why you're doing it. So now make a conscious choice to make yourself feel better, and your energy level will go up, especially once the insides, like Susan's talking about here, is you got to know what's going on the insides so you can make some adjustments to eat the right thing that gives you the right energy, so you can do the movements that we talk about to feel better. Because again, get down to being happy. What makes you happy? Truly happy.
Exactly.
Energy.
Truly happy.
Doing the things that
There's
you
a lot
love.
of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people walking around in a daze anymore. The stress. They're just like, and I will literally ask in a session, so do something that brings you joy. What's something that brings you joy? I don't know. How do you not know? But that's where people are. They've gotten down to the grind, and the buzzword of being busy is a good thing. No, it's not. Like, there has to be that balance. And when you brought up rest, I wrote that down, because another huge component, it's not go, 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 go. You have to take those days of rest. But again, I think it's just, are you going to get injured? Exactly. And if you're not resting, if you're not getting good quality sleep, you can't repair. And just that constant breaking down of the muscle, all of it, you have to have that. I'm gonna do a post today. I took a picture of my watch the other day after it was supposed to be a rest day, and I said, I have to be outside. I need to move. And there was some sunshine. It wasn't supposed to rain until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was like 11 o'clock. And I said, I'm gonna go to Devil's Backbone. It's a hiking area close to me. I'm just gonna do a short one and go super, super chill. Not my usual. Got to power up the hill as fast as I can. Look down, watch my metrics, and again, I got there at 11:30, and I saw this dark cloud and didn't take my rain jacket or anything. Saw the dark cloud coming in. Thought, I have till 2 o'clock. It won't hit yet. I get, I just get halfway in. It was only like a mile and a half in to the turnaround. Because again, I was going to be really good and just do chill and be out there in the sunshine. Friggin' rain starts. Right. And I'm like, seriously? I have my phone. And I was actually recording ideas for things. And then now I can't do that. I tucked that in. I had a jacket on, but it wasn't waterproof. And then the hail, the little tiny hail. Now I have to run. So now I'm like jogging to like a slow jog. And when I got back and looked at my watch, it was like 3.7 mile an hour average with 400 feet in elevation. And I'm going, now I really screwed the pooch on my rest day. So it had to be yesterday where I did nothing to finally satisfy. You have to take breaks. So sometimes like just our best laid plans don't always work out. But I knew I wasn't going to sleep as well that night because I was taxed just from that extra effort. And then I came home and I was sitting there eating dinner. And like Garmin says, you're unusually stressed right now. I'm like, I'm eating. It was like, you need to stop. You need to chill. And I've been seeing that a lot. Awareness is key. Do you use you have your system that's creating awareness around that? Do you use metrics? Do you wear a wearable to look down and see, why is my heart rate variability dropping consistently? Why is my resting heart rate going up consistently? Am I not getting the rest? Am I not recharging? People aren't recharging their battery. So just like the car battery dies, our battery can die too. And then we have a forced stop because we get injured or sick or both. Right. So I think it's just a combination of everything just the more you are aware of your body, your movement, it's just a game changer in everything longevity. Who wants to be living to 100 if you're stuck on oxygen in the house and you can't move and you can't do the things that bring you joy? Or do you want to be out there? I want to be still hiking at 90.
And the thing is, you can. I know that because Jack LaLanne, back in the day, I watched Jack LaLanne at 94 years old. He's at the Moscone Center and he's walking back and forth on stage, vibrant as could be, and touching his toes and talking to the crowd of 3,000. And my funniest remembrance of him was he stops at the corner of the stage and he goes, I've been married for 52 years. And you want to know why? Because she's always right. And he points to his wife right there. And little Elaine stands up. She waves to the crowd. And I'm like, okay, Elaine isn't doing what Jack's doing because Jack is tall. He's touching his toes. He's vibrant. And she could barely move at the time. And I was like, oh my God, that's a difference.
Wow, and what a contrast.
It's stuck in my mind of that. But Jack versus her, of how they move, is it possible? Yeah. Is Jack different? I don't believe so. I believe I'll be as mobile as I am right now at 55 as I will at 85. I'll be just as strong too, because if you stay with the weights, you can't gain more at 80, they're saying right now. They're going to say it's really difficult to gain at 80. But if I work up to 80.
To gain muscle?
They say it's very difficult at 80, pushing through 80 to gain muscle. They've said that. And I don't know. I don't know if you can get more muscle at that time when your body's like breaking down the whole thing. So I believe you can feel amazing up until 100.
I think so too. And is it because of, is the body really breaking down? Is it breaking down because of environmental factors, toxins, the hormones decreasing? Because we know that by then the testosterone is going to be so significantly dropped Well, what about if you are using testosterone therapy to maintain healthy levels of those hormones? Did they
Well,
test that? That's what I wonder,
no,
right?
no,
Because
then I
isn't
think
it
you
like,
can.
do you
I Yeah, I agree.
say that's what I'm thinking? Do you need to be building extraordinary amounts of muscle at 80? No, but it's the most important thing to maintain the good, healthy muscle mass because they know, like, this has been some of the research coming out is how important muscle mass is. Now, do
Mhm.
I think it's a constant, like protein, protein, protein? Everybody just needs more protein, more protein. Some bodies don't need quite as much. They're going to naturally maintain more. Others need more, but you have some where you just, I have one client, we think that like it's putting so much stress on her kidneys trying to get in protein, protein, protein. I'm like, you don't need over your body weight of that. You're not a bodybuilder. You're doing Pilates.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
And you have a
and
very lean brain. There's just
I agree,
good.
and I think people need the right amount for them. So it's like you don't know unless
Thank
you're
you.
measuring what you're measuring in the background and looking at their blood and looking at the stuff that they're doing. Otherwise, you're really guessing. That's why it's important to
Yeah.
see what the blood is, see what's necessary, and what are your levels, cortisol, all that stuff, because you need to see how your body's working,
Yeah.
the right stuff
The,
in it.
the, the beauty with my PH360, the platform is the AI based. It isn't blood. We don't have to do that. We do measurements. So you'll actually jam on this. We measure things like your skull, your jaw, your hands, your feet, your
Oh,
femur. We're looking to see the predominant derm layer that developed in the womb. And that tells us the predominant hormones that drive you. So
oh,
even what fuels some of your competitive athletes? Is it the dopamine? Hitting that goal of getting that win? I did some work with a collegiate basketball player last year. He was at North Alabama, just graduated, and he was the captain. For him, it wasn't the competition, it wasn't that drive. He had such a guardian secondary brain, and they are the nurturers. He just wanted to take care of his teammates and be there for them. That's what drove him, which shocked me because I
that's my
thought,
son. That's my
okay,
son.
I thought he's a crusader. They're driven by dopamine. So yes, there was that in there, and that we used that to dial him in. He was eating the wrong things. A college student, he's eating a lot of junky stuff too, just trying to pack in the calories. Got him doing the right things. He was sleeping, going to bed really late, sleeping in late. Swap that because he's actually an early bird. Performance increased. He was able to put on muscle mass, which is harder for his type. But it was his team, the stuff around the team was all driven by the need to take care of his teammates, to be there for them. And I just
So
thought that was so
funny.
fascinating. So
That
when
sounds
you
like my
understand,
son.
see, it's when you understand what drives them, because if you have somebody that's driven by that instead of by just competition, like we little people or the adrenaline testosterone people, it's competition. I would walk into CrossFit and go look at the whiteboard, look at the person, to the people that I knew that I was closest to in performance, go, all right, I got to beat that today. That's how I went in. Other people, it's just the social aspect of it. They just need, that's where they can, the connection. It's that family. So when you understand what drives somebody, it's easier to train them that way when they understand I'm here for this and it's not for this.
Uh-huh.
And you can get more performance out of them.
And
So,
I
and
say
yeah,
that
that's
all
all
the
through
time.
measurements. That's all through
It's your it's your why. Why are you doing this?
it's your why.
If you don't know your why, you'll stop showing up because you don't have a real why.
Yeah.
You'll tell me the surface reason I want to lose weight. I want to hit the golf ball further. But then 6 weeks later, you've lost that burn of why. Is that really why? Because if it is, you'll still get going. You'll still keep pushing. You'll keep trying to improve that, whatever that is. But I think for most people, that's why I became a life coach literally like 4 years ago. And all my athletes, I got tired of making them bigger, faster, stronger. And then they go to their sport and they struggle. And I'm like, dude, what's going on here? So now that I can talk to them and find out their why, I can help them with their lifestyle outside of their sport, get their head on straight because the sport is actually easy. They're amazing athletes. They're amazing at what they can do. They're mobile, they're strong, they're powerful, they're explosive. But how do they get their head on straight? How do you become Tiger Woods? Think that all the best out there, Michael Jordan. It wasn't that their talent level is above everyone else. It's that what they do is above everyone else. Everything that they do around their lifestyle, it makes them who they are. It's why they're great.
Yeah.
They do things that are special more often, which makes them special.
Mhm.
I don't look at Michael, I don't look at Curry, I don't look at these guys as wow. No, they just do it more consistently. And most people aren't consistent. So you can't rise to that ability.
Yeah, you won't
know?
know what you
It,
potentially
it,
have.
it was like years and years ago, I said to people, I went Curry before Curry. I used to have 50-point games all the time in basketball. And I used to shoot around by myself for 3 hours by myself. So I've shot 40,000 balls. And it's like when you do something over and over and over consistently, your body will get better. But if you don't know the inside of your body, like you said, you can't
You're missing
get the
you're just
outside.
missing that piece.
Yeah, because you're not going to have the energy to do what you want to do.
You'll get through, but will you ever truly be optimal? When
Mhm.
you, that's what I think is such a big difference with performance, optimal performance is you can go out there. I could go out there and go do a hike. I could pick up a 5K and I don't like it, but I could go do it. But now at what level do I want to do it? And that's what I would tell people. I've done CrossFit competitions. I haven't done them in years because for me now, and I've been curtailed due to injury, but for me, it was like I go to the gym so that I can go do the things I love to do at the level I want to do them.
Mhm.
The last thing I want to do is go, yeah, I'm not in shape to do that. That's never going to come out of my mouth unless it's like an ultra or a marathon, which I have no desire to do anyway. So I never want to be in that kind of. That's just not how I'm made. We have here. I live in Colorado, and down in Colorado Springs or Manitou Springs, which is down below Colorado Springs, there's a thing called the incline. And it's 2,000, it's 22 or 2,700 steps.
Oh, yeah.
It's 0.88 miles. Okay. So it's not even a mile and
Oh,
2,000
yeah.
feet of elevation gain. Okay. It's like
Uh-huh.
the rite of passage if you live here. If you haven't done it, people, and you live here, get your ass up that incline. It's brutal. And it starts out like the steps are close. It used to be an old rail car. And so a lot of Olympic athletes train there. You'll see the Air Force Academy. They're down there. The Army people, I'll be in their stuff. But it starts out, the steps are close. And then as it gets more in the middle, they get wider. And I'm super short. And I'm like, I just put my hands up there. It's like doing like a 24-inch box step in the middle. And then you look and it's got this false summit. You think you're there, but you still have another couple hundred steps to go. And that's like my challenge every year. I like to do it in the
Oh my God, that's
spring, and then my
awesome.
birthday's October, and see if I can best it in October. I've done it with a knee brace on from my calf up to the top of my thigh. And that was when I did it last year, or it was the year before. And the guy that was with me, I said, because my usual time's around 52 minutes. And I said, I just want to come in under an hour. And we got to it. I looked up. I'm like, this is because the right leg was so shaky from having this brace on the other leg, trying to overcompensate. And I was just wiped out. And he said, well, you're going to come in just a little over a minute. And I said, oh, yeah, the hell I am. And I like ran up the last few steps. I got there and I came in at 59:59. So you see, like the competitive. And where was I going with this whole story? It was all about
Mental
being able to
preparation,
do the
mental.
things you want to do. I never say I'm not in shape to do the incline. There's a Facebook page on the incline and people put times on there. And someone said it took them 3 hours to do it.
Oh,
A
wow.
guy, it was like his 75th birthday or something. And I thought, kudos to you. He didn't sit at home and say, I'm not in shape to do that, so I'll wait it out, or I'll just like, why not just try something new, try something different. And if
Challenge
there's
yourself.
things you want to do, then live the lifestyle that's going to allow you to do the things you want to do when you want to do them. But again, we're all different, and I'm created for movement. So that's hugely important for me. I can't be me if I'm not moving.
Where
So
where is that, Susan? Where is
The
What are you
incline?
talking about? Yeah.
Look up incline, look up the incline Manitou, Manitou, Manitou Springs. And you can see it when you drive down there, when you take the exit to head towards that way, you're in Colorado Springs, and you look over and you can see it up the side of the mountain, and you're like, why am I going to do this? Why? You get there and you look at it and you just go, why am I putting myself through this? And the coolest thing up there though is it's all shapes and sizes and abilities that do it. There's people that go run up, run down, run up, run down. There's a hiking trail that's like 3 miles that goes around the side of it on the way down. That's a beautiful trail. And I like to run that on the way down after. But the thing at the top, the camaraderie, people, as you're coming up, people are cheering. As you're coming up there, they're taking videos, pictures, and cheering everybody on.
That's
And it's
awesome.
like, it is the coolest thing. You'll have to come out just to do it.
Yeah, I actually have a stair incline here that's 139 stairs. And one day I said to the kids, they were running them and they were complaining, and I'm like, all they had to do is 10. And I said to them, this is 25 years ago. I go, come on, guys, just finish hard. We're just going to knock this out. It only takes 20 minutes. And they complained. I said, fine. For every one you do, I'll do 10. And when I said it, I said, oh shit, that's 100. And then I said, oh my God, my dad always said, whatever you say, you better do or the kids won't respect you.
Yeah.
So I go,
Yeah.
oh shit, I got to do 100 right now. So 3 hours and 30 minutes later, I finished the stairs with the kids, and they're running with me now, taking turns. Come on, Bob, come on. And they're running with me and they're taking turns. But the moral of the story was each kid did over 20. We were there 3.5 hours, finished. And then I said to the kids, can we just knock this out next time in 20 minutes? You know, like we didn't have to be there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So if someone wants to do your program,
Yes.
how can they reach you? We will have everything in the show notes. We'll have the links and all, but tell people how they can reach out or
Yeah, you
get your
can
program.
you can go to BAM-metrics.com, metrics.com, and you can see all the stuff that I do there and what I teach. And then I got an online mobility program that you guys can do at home. And every 3 weeks, you get a new tool. So you just sign up. Every 3 weeks, you get a new tool and learn how to use it. And every Tuesday at 11, I have a call for all the people that are part of the program to answer questions, go over it, have pros here, different things that we do each week. And love to have you guys check it out because it'll help you move better, reduce your pain, and improve your performance. And it's super simple and it's for you. It's specific to you.
Personalized
Susan.
movement.
Thank you so much for
Personalized
having me on. It was
Thank
great
you
talk.
for coming on.
Enjoyed it.
Fun conversation. We have to talk forever with you. Like just
We'll have to do it again. We'll have to do this again. Lots more to go over.
Sure.
Lots more stories for sure.
I love it.
So
I love it.
thank you
We'll
very much.
definitely have you on again. Thank you so much. Everybody, get out there, make it an amazing day, and be your most authentic self. Please share this podcast with anybody that it might help. If you have somebody that's in pain right now and might benefit from this, or an athlete that wants to improve, or you just want to improve your movement and mobility, hit Bobby up. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks so much for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I'd love for you to share it with someone who would find the information useful. Also, if you can leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll help the information get out to others. You can check out my podcast site and sign up for my newsletter for updates and upcoming shows, and that link is in the show notes below. And go make it a great day and let your authentic self shine.